Hi everyone, it's your favorite genderqueer unicorn, Mikey, and welcome back to my bed. Don't know if you guys have noticed, but today we have a very special Chanel episode because, as we all know, Chanel is increasing their prices around the world, and this time it is reported to be around 12 to 25%. I know that it's already gone up by 25%, while the Square Mini has gone up by 25% in Europe. The prices have not gone up here in the States yet, but we know for sure that it's definitely going to go up because it's Chanel, right? And as someone who has been working as a brand consultant for a very long time, I feel like I have a little bit of expertise and knowledge on why they do this, and I thought I would share my thoughts on this and how this affects our purchasing decisions as consumers when they do such a thing. As you probably read in the title, this video is about psychological tactics that Chanel and other retailers use to get us to buy things or to get us to view their products in a certain light or a certain way. And today we are going to talk about a few of the things that Chanel specifically does with their marketing campaign and their pricing strategy to get us to buy their bags in this case. By the way, I'm not saying that Chanel is the only fashion house that does this. Every fashion house is guilty of this, not just fashion houses, every retailer, Costco, everything. Everyone does this. So please do not think that I'm singling Chanel out. I am not, but I am just using them as an example because they are one of the most notorious for this, and I think a lot of my bag lovers in Bag Chat would agree. Hi Bag Chat friends! I also have almost a whole research paper written on the subject. I will have it linked down in the description below. It will be on my blog. You can go ahead and read that if you're interested. I think that will be a little more articulate than I am today. I have the tendency to ramble on, as you guys know, but I hope this will be a fun and interesting video for you guys today. And let's get into the psychological aspect of why a company raises their prices and why they price their products at a certain price. Let's go. But before we get into the video, I would love it if you hit subscribe and join our fan power family because it feels so good on the inside. And don't forget to thumb me real good because we really like thumbs here. Right? I don't know. Okay guys, let's go. Let's start with this video. Historically, if you looked at the price increases of the various fashion houses, you might be able to see that a lot of them increase their prices based on the inflation of the currency, the world economy, and all that stuff. For example, Louis Vuitton. They raise their prices around 2 to 3%, I think once a year or twice a year, not sure. Please let me know down in the comments below if you do. But they do raise their prices by about 2 to 3% every time they do, which kind of goes along with the inflation of the consumer price index globally. If you go to the International Monetary Fund's website, imf.org, you will be able to find a map and a chart of the consumer price index globally. And if you search 2017, 2018, 2019, it was 3.7% inflation globally. And taking rent and labor and cost of raw materials into account, you could say that Louis Vuitton's price increase follows along with the increase of the inflation of the consumer price index, right? So they're just raising their prices to go along with the world economy. That makes total sense. If you look at the prices of their bags from about 10 years ago to now, you would see the increase, but you might think, oh yeah, that does make sense because of inflation and everything else. But if you look at Chanel's price increases, their price increases seem to tell a completely different story. The Chanel Classic Mini Square has gone up by 25% already in Europe, for example. So that shows us that their motivation for raising their prices might be some other reason, right? Let's talk about that, shall we? First, let's talk about psychological pricing. Psychological pricing. What is that? How does Chanel use that to their advantage to get us to buy their products? Psychological pricing can work in multiple ways, but for Chanel, what they do is take their prices and hike it all the way up because something that's more expensive than another product is automatically thought of as more expensive, more exclusive, made of better materials, and all of that jazz. Even though they might not be. So what Chanel did was use their aggressive price hikes to give their bags an image of higher quality and elusivity and exclusivity just by raising their prices. I don't know how many of you are old enough, but back in the day, Chanel used to be seen as like a regular fashion house amongst the likes of Prada and Louis Vuitton and Dior. But over the years, they have started to be seen as a more exclusive brand that is for the upper echelons of society, the creme de la creme. How did they do that? Psychological pricing, everyone! According to an article I read on Purseblog, the classic flat jumbo caviar used to be $2,675 back in 2009. I think the latest price for that is around $7,000 maybe? I'm not sure, but it definitely has almost tripled in price, which if you think about it is kind of crazy. This bag is a vintage bag given to me by my mom. It used to be hers. I believe she got this for like $1,000 back in the 90s. Like, it's insane. And to get the same bag now would probably cost around $4,500. I think this because this is the small size double flap, but it's definitely gone up a lot. And if you think about it, the production of the classic flap has not changed much from back in the day to the newer ones that we have now. They are essentially still the exact same bag, so I don't think the manufacturing process has changed. I don't think they have improved the design of it at all. They haven't really done anything to the bag except increase the price. And I don't think the price that they increased the bags to is warranted given the rate of inflation, the cost of labor, cost of rent, and cost of raw products. Everything added together still does not equate to the prices that these bags have gone up to. So the only reason left for them to be raising their prices is the psychological aspect of pricing and the perceived quality of a higher priced product, aka these. Like, how did a bag that started selling at $500 at its beginning suddenly become close to $9,000 for the biggest size? Like, doesn't make sense, doesn't add up, huh? I personally think what they are trying to do with their price increases is they're trying to mimic the success of the psychological pricing king, Hermes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we all know Hermes and their psychological games that they play with their bags. Oh, you need to do this and that, and we all know what they do. This is what Chanel is trying to get into. They're trying to get into the exclusive Hermes crowd of creme de la creme. But here's where the differences lie. Hermes bags are supposedly handcrafted by a single person from start to finish, and everything on the bag is hand done, handmade, and hand sewn. Unlike Hermes, Chanel's bags are not hand sewn. These puffs are all machine quilted. I'm sure that they are put together by hand in some form of fashion, but it definitely does not have the history, the quality, and the craftsmanship that the Hermes bag price warrants. They are simply trying to break into a different price category and elevate their standing in the luxury sector. Another company that has been known to use the same psychological tactic as Chanel is Beats. Beats is a very, very, very popular headphone brand. I'm sure you've heard of it. But it does not have a very good rep amongst audiophiles, which is people who have a true passion for audio and music and listening. And to them, Beats are not worth the money because the quality is subpar for the price that you pay. For them, there are a lot of other headphones out there that sound and feel and look just as good as the Beats, but they are much, much less cheaper, sometimes even more than half the price of the beats. I'm going to read you guys a little excerpt from Consumer Reports that describes exactly what I'm talking about. According to Consumer Reports, you're probably paying more for the Beats name, especially for models without active noise cancellation. In almost every category, there are lower priced models that offer the same and sometimes better sound quality. So if sound quality is your only consideration, choose one of the models rather than a Beats set. That proves exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, you're probably gonna hate this part, but another reason why Chanel and other retailers increase their prices is to force you to buy the product that you've been eyeing on. It's a psychological tactic. That's how they get you to panic and buy the thing and make that decision. We've all been there, right? As bag lovers, Chanel's raising their prices, Louis Vuitton's raising their prices, everyone's raising their prices. Oh my god, buy, get everything, do it, buy now. That is one way that people react. That's how I react. Another way that people react is they get so turned off by the price increases that they decide to walk away from the brand. No more, goodbye. When these companies do this, they are triggering our fight or flight response. Now, I know some of you may be asking, what the hell is fight or flight, Monkey? I don't understand. Let me explain to you. Our bodies are governed by two basic instincts, fight or flight. This is an animalistic instinct that was more important to us way back when, less important to us in the modern day, but it's still something that governs our daily life. Let's say you're out in public and there is a father and son playing baseball nearby. They scream, "Watch out!" You turn, a ball's flying to you. You get this instinct inside of you to jut. That would be our flight instinct. We need to run away from the ball because the ball is coming at our face, and if we don't run away, we're gonna get hit in the face, and that's gonna hurt. Same thing, same scenario, ball's flying at you, you turn, catch it. That is our fight instinct. Our body decided to react to the event that is happening and fight the issue. Now let's talk about it in a consumer standpoint. Another excerpt for you guys. This one is from Harvard Health's website about fight or flight. The carefully orchestrated yet near instantaneous sequence of hormonal changes and physiological responses helps someone to fight the threat off or flee to safety. Unfortunately, the body can also overreact to stressors that are not life-threatening, such as traffic jams, work pressure, family difficulties, and yes, price increases. That is right! So in this case, to our brains, the threat would be the price increase. And the solution to that would be A, fight, which is to purchase the product before the price increase, or B, flee, which is to run away from the brand and be like, I am done. You guys have increased the price too much. This is exactly the buying pattern that we can observe right before a price increase. Either everyone goes out and buys the things that they've always wanted, or they go out and buy things that they didn't even want, weren't even looking at. They're just buying something because there's a price increase. Second option would be to flee, run away, never buy from them again. And then there's also the crazy people like me who just buy it no matter what. You think about it, this is the exact same tactic that infomercials use to get people to call in. There are always some kind of limited time deals, or like you can only have it for the first 100 customers or something like that. But like we all know now, probably, maybe, hopefully, that is not true. And it's just a way for them to trigger our fight or flight response to get us to pick up that phone and call because we don't want to miss out on that great deal. Similarly, that's how Chanel uses our fight or flight tactics against us and uses psychology in their marketing and pricing strategy to get us to buy their stuff, and also as a way for them to elevate their brand above every other luxury fashion house out there. So these are just some of the ways that retailers like Chanel and others use psychology in a way to play with our emotions and feelings through the fight or flight response, and how they get us to buy their products and look at their products in a certain light. So what do you think? Did anything I say make sense? Will the price increases stop you from buying Chanel? Do you think that Chanel's price increases are warranted, or do you think that their price increase is not equal to the increase in their quality? Obviously, I still love Chanel, and it's a brand that I continue to buy because I love them for their classic, timeless designs. And there are always ways to get discounts on them, like going pre-loved. This was my first ever Chanel bag, and I got it pre-loved a very long time ago for $700, you guys. That's so crazy to think about. This is a vintage 2.55 patent backpack. I think the same thing would go for around $2,500 to $3,000 now. So, like, it definitely has increased in value with the price increases, which is why some people say Chanel's are a good investment. But bags are never investment for me. They are like works of art that I love to look at, and that's why I personally buy bags. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys learned something today. Maybe a little bit about branding, pricing strategy, or how brands use psychology to play with our emotions and feelings. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of these companies using these tactics. Do you think that they're doing it on purpose? Do you think they're oblivious to it? I think they're totally doing it on purpose. They have too much R&D and too much money behind their research and development to be doing this on accident. Like, they know what they're doing, and it's working. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to read my blog post on this, I will have it linked down below. That will be a little more articulate, a lot more articulate than this video. I feel like I rambled on a lot. Yes, if you love bags and luxury and fashion, please subscribe, join our FemPower family. Fem me real good because it feels really good. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.